A very good evening to each and every one of you tonight, and thank you so much for being here, and a special welcome to our distinguished honorees. It's such an honor to have you with us this evening. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have the great honor and privilege of introducing someone very special to our national and international community, and to me personally, Mrs. Cindy McCain, who will accept the Atlantic Council's Global Citizen Award on behalf of our fourth honoree of the evening, Senator John McCain. In the wake of his recent passing, thousands of well-deserved tributes have been paid to Senator McCain, who I think we all know and maintain that is an authentic American hero. And the world knew him as a great patriot, a statesman, and a leader. And I'm very fortunate that I had the privilege of calling him my friend and my mentor. I admired John McCain before I ever knew him. In 1967, I was an infantry Marine officer in the Republic of Vietnam when he was in prison in Hanoi. I feared for him and all of our POWs, but especially for him as the son of the admiral who was prosecuting the war from his headquarters in Hawaii. But our meeting and our friendship dates back to 1979, when I, as a Marine major assigned to the Navy Marine Corps Senate liaison, first met then Navy Captain John McCain and his wife-to-be, Cindy. John McCain, as some of you know, had a wicked sense of humor. And as the only Marine in his office, I was frequently the recipient of humorous stories. One of them was that in front of me, he used to say to whoever was around that when he graduated from the Naval Academy, he wanted to be a Marine, but was disqualified because at the time of his birth, his parents were married. Cindy knows that that joke went on for years and years, and I stood by and accepted that until the day that his son joined the Marine Corps. And that was the last I ever heard that joke. After his retirement in 1980 from active duty as my captain, and over the course of my entire professional career, I learned a great deal from John. Perhaps one of the most important things he taught me, however, and no doubt to countless other people, were his core values. Those basic yet fundamental virtues such as human dignity, justice, solidarity, equality, and tolerance that informed his life's work and defined his character, which is his most profound legacy. And let's not forget his capacity to forgive those who tortured him in Hanoi, in the higher goal of normalizing the bilateral relations of our two countries for the future. John McCain's principled leadership was admired and respected not just in Washington, but across the United States and around the world. He exemplified the brand of democratic, rules-based leadership that America seeks to project and inspire globally, and particularly in developing countries where Cindy has done so much herself. As one of the great visionaries who helped establish the alliances and the institutions that promote global peace, prosperity, and freedom following the end of the Cold War, John McCain understood deeply the perils confronting the United States and our allies and the urgent necessity behind U.S. global leadership, a necessity that is particularly evident today. His steadfast commitment to preserving these democratic values, which he feared are now at greater risk than ever, made him one of the staunchest advocates of the Atlantic Council's founding purpose and mission of working together to secure the future. He was indeed our global ambassador, and more importantly, he was our collective friend and inspiration. In accepting the Atlantic Council's 2011 Freedom Award in Wrocław, Poland, Senator McCain powerfully reinforced a core component of our mission. And he said, and I quote, "It is our obligation as free people to look beyond these divisions, to disregard all of the arguments that counsel passivity in the fight for human dignity, and to reaffirm that core idea that still unites us all and summons us all to still nobler endeavors, solidarity. Solidarity with the universal longings of the human soul for basic rights and equality, for liberty under the law, and for tolerance and opportunity," unquote. So in honoring John McCain with our Global Citizen Award tonight, we hope to pay tribute to his enduring legacy, which will continue to guide us in our pursuit for a more peaceful and more secure future. And beyond that, we wish to honor his unparalleled brand of leadership that will continue to inspire us all to be better versions of ourselves. So now it's my honor to welcome to the stage Senator McCain's life partner, his better half, and his advisor and confidant and the love of his life, Cindy McCain. Cindy McCain is a national and international hero in her own right. From her founding of the American Voluntary Medical Team in 1988 to lead medical missions to developing and war-torn nations, to her advocacy surrounding human rights abuses and trafficking cases, Cindy, like her husband, has dedicated her life to causes larger than herself. Cindy, thank you for being here with us to accept this award. We hope that it conveys our admiration and love for John's life's work, and yours as well, devoted to the cause of peace and the betterment of the human condition on our planet. Both of your examples will guide us towards that better future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome, and thank you for this humbling honor that you have bestowed on my husband. Jim is right. I've known Jim since he was a major in the Marine Corps, and what he didn't tell you is that our son, Jimmy, who did join the Marine Corps, did it because of Jim. He looked up to him in so many ways and became a young man that is still serving his country today. Ambassador Powell, I've heard that story. You've told me that story before, and I love you for it. It's a most humbling story for all of us, and I have witnessed many occasions like that, unfortunately, on my husband's part. He He loved the country and loved the world so much and wanted it right. And you and I both know it was something that was very special. And I know it, at the time, it may not have sounded like it, but I know it was. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you for recognizing my husband's statesmanship and his contributions to the progress of peace, prosperity, and freedom in the world. He would have been grateful and humbled by your appreciation. John believed American citizenship conferred global responsibilities on our leaders. Since ours is not a republic of blood and soil, but of universal ideals, liberty and equality, justice, we pledge allegiances to those. Those ideals and their success beyond our own borders is our concern. He was an American patriot who loved and served and sacrificed for our country. But his patriotism was in its essence a kinship of ideals that embraced solidarity with all humanity. It mattered to him that the people of Uzbekistan or Myanmar were deprived of their rights. Americans can take that for granted. The people of those countries have the same inherent dignity that we possess, and he felt an affinity with them and their cause. For like them, he had once been deprived of his own right to liberty and justice, and so he identified with them and they with him. He was, quote, in a league with them, united, unquote, as a friend once wrote. By suffering, endurance, and the knowledge that the most marvelous of human achievements is to not lose hope when experience has taught you there is no hope. At John's memorial service, his dear friend Joe Lieberman recalled visiting a Syrian refugee camp with John in southern Turkey. The poor souls confined there were angry, and it appeared to them that the world's indifference to their plight was simply gone. Just hours before, they'd furiously denounced and chased away a senior UN official. The government officials escorting the senators to the camp were worried they too would get a hostile reception and advised that they cancel the visit. Well, I know you can guess what John said. He wouldn't hear of it. As they approached the camp, they could hear the refugees were shouting something, which made the escort officers very nervous. But when they entered the camp and heard what was going on, they were greeted like heroes. They were shouting, "John McCain, John McCain." Those desperate people knew John was their champion, their brother, and he knew their deliverance from persecution was as much his responsibility as anyone else's. John knew how cruel the world could be. He knew people everywhere are corruptible, but he knew too that in the worst of circumstances, human beings were still capable of compassion, selflessness, and it gave him faith that the world could be made another, better place than it already was. He believed that the liberal world order that the United States had organized and led after World War II, based on an alliance of shared interests and ideals, had helped spread freedom and justice to the most hostile corners of the world. He knew the continued success of the international order is the best hope of mankind, and he knew that it was never more important for Americans to speak up and stand up for the universality of the West values and the alliance that protects and advances them than it is today. We face a growing competition from great power rivals who believe in the power of the state over the power of the individual. John knew, too, that there were growing numbers of Americans who doubt the transformative powers of our ideals and reject the responsibilities of world leadership. And he devoted his last months and the strength that was ebbing away from him to remind his fellow Americans that our exceptionalism is based in our idealism and our solidarity with mankind. We are part of the Maine, he often quoted. The bell tolls for us. That is his legacy, That is his charge to us, to stay loyal to the faith that has liberated more people from tyranny and poverty than any other time in our history. I hope to do so in his name. And I thank all of you for your faith, your commitment to the cause, and for your generous tribute to John's contributions in making the world a better place. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screens and welcome Ms. Kate Davis.
I see trees of green and red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue. Colors of the rainbow are so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, watch them grow. They learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, I think to myself, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful
Thank you very much. I'm Damon Wilson, Executive Vice President of the Atlantic Council. Thank you, Kate Davis, for your beautiful rendition of What a Wonderful World, one of Senator McCain's favorite songs. Thank you, Mrs. McCain, for being with us here tonight and for accepting the Senator's Award. He was a great friend of the council. We will miss him dearly. I want to invite you all to enjoy your dinner, and we'll break and resume the program, the second half of our program, honoring President Macri and Prime Minister Solberg. Enjoy your meal. Thank you.